Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for December 10th to the 17th. Welcome, wherever you are on this beautiful planet of ours. I'd like to just invite you to pull yourself into the present moment by closing your eyes. Put your hand over your heart. Take 3 nice, slow, deep breaths with me. And just see a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, anchoring you deep in Mother Earth. This anchoring is pulling you into your now moment. It is also grounding you deep, deep, deep in the earth. That tree root is a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children listening now and in the future to this reading. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that we most need to receive right now, and to provide that in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our collective highest and greatest good, as well as our personal good and path forward. I'd like to call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening now and in the future, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present to facilitate this exchange and ensure that it happens in the highest and best way possible for the good of everyone involved. I'd also like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us across time and space, pulling each and every one of those listening into the circle of light. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. We set the tone for ease, for clarity, for wisdom, for transformation, for healing, for upliftment, for empowerment, for true sight. And anything that doesn't match these frequencies is welcome to go now. A little bird on my windowsill knocking at the window. I think he wants to come in. Okay, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So, Creator, what is it that we need to know most this week for our highest and greatest good personally and collectively, for the role we're here to play in service to those we love in this beautiful planet we call home? What do we most need to know to be our best? And the magician pops up. Let's see if the magician comes up again, shall we? The magician is about empowerment. It's about attention and will and focus and pulling the elements together to create what you want. It's very much about magic, making magic, but magic is about focus and attention and will. Okay, so this is what we need to know for the coming week, December 10th to the 17th. Okay. The past, present, future, and foundation cards. Recent past, the influence is waning, but it continues into our present, into our future. The card of sacrifice, the 8 of hearts. So, I think something we can all relate to. Just feeling emotionally over the top is what this card is about. The hearts here are falling like tears. It's very silvery, very watery. The cups are the water element. It has to do with our emotions, but it's this feeling of just overwhelm, sadness, feeling done, not quite knowing what to do with the depth of emotion as well. There's this feeling of the water's so deep, there are big fish, tropical fish swimming in the bottom of it. An ocean of tears. Yeah. Well, we can all relate to this in our own unique way. Our deep emotional experiences are changing us. They're opening us up to new ways of seeing and being in the world, helping us to have greater distinction about what we want. But there's a grieving for what was. There's a grieving for how things could be, but they're not. There's just this feeling of sadness collectively in our sphere, personally and collectively. And that's our way through. It's in our human beingness, the feeling. The feeling place is part of what it means to be human. And to get through the feelings, we have to go through them. We have to feel them. And there are ways and practices that help us to do that, where we don't get stuck or hung up, but we can continue to move forward and know that those feelings are not going to last forever, but they're part of what it means to be human, being in these beautiful bodies and having this incredible life experience through our senses and our emotions. But just the realization that the intensity of our feeling is what makes being human what it is. And as difficult as it can be sometimes, it's also one of the great gifts about being in our human bodies, being here now. So if you're feeling like this, wherever you are, big hugs, lots of love to you. I think we all know what you're going through. We've all had our moments of it. And you will get through this. We're all getting through this. Just keep going. And know that you are so much more than your feelings. You are the sky and your feelings are the clouds. And sometimes those clouds are there for a while. But they usually blow off eventually. Yeah, and the sacrifice. So much. The name of the card is sacrifice. So much. There's just this feeling that so much has been sacrificed, and where's the return for this? Where is the result? We still find ourselves in a lot of, in the place where we've been for a long time. And there's been a lot asked and continues to be asked from us. But is it really worth the sacrifice? I think this is a question each of us has to ask for ourselves. And not to focus on that, but to use it again as a way of distinguishing where we want to go. I spent a lot of time on that one. Just the feeling is intense, so I apologize if that was too long. The present card, where we are right now, is the card of signals. So what are we pulling in? What are we putting out? Wands are about creativity, inspiration, and passion. We, as humans, are powerful, powerful co-creators with life. I don't think we realize to the extent how powerful we are. And it's part of the journey that we're on right now, is to recognize that. But this card is reminding us to be mindful of where are we putting our attention and our focus. What are we giving our energy to? Because where your energy goes, is where energy flows. Where your attention is where the energy is going to go. So if you're focused on horrible things, you might want to give your head a shake and think about something else, because that's the set point then that you're in. I would encourage you to think about the good, to think about the beautiful, to think about what you love, what brings you more joy, more happiness. Maybe that's spending time with a beloved pet, or Skyping with a good friend or a relative. For all of us, it's something different, but we all have our anchors, our joy anchors, our love anchors. And this card is reminding us to be focused on the good. You know, it is the season of the winter holidays. And so this is typically a season of giving, of thinking of others before ourselves. And often that can be the cure for so much, to pull us out of our own misery, our own disappointment, our own sacrifice, to focus on bringing some cheer, some joy, some love, something beautiful into somebody else's experience. So perhaps even in the consideration of how you can do that, you'll find your energy is elevated and you're brought up a level. And this is something we can do ourselves. Again, humanity is a powerful, powerful co-creator with life, and it has everything to do with where we're putting our attention and our focus. So fill your attention and focus with the good to the best of your ability. It will reward you. The near future, the card of passage. Now that's interesting. We've been through a storm. We've lost our mast. We've lost our rudder. We're just drifting along. We don't know where we're going. Isn't that the story for humanity? We have all kinds of narratives about how it's going to go, how terrible it can be, how awful it's all going to wind up. And we could certainly give energy to that. We could feed that and we could pull that into our future. Or we can choose something different. We can choose differently. We can choose from love. We can choose from care. We can choose from responsibility. We are responsible. We are the ones co-creating the future of this beautiful planet. You know, we talk about being in the 6th great extinction. Is that really? Are we resigned to that? Is that really what we're going to do? Or are we going to turn our world around and understand that we're part of life, not here to dominate it? So this card of passage is the near future. We are on a journey. We don't know yet where we're going to wind up, but we have to trust the process. And while we're drifting, while we're going with that current, how are you using your time? What are you giving your energy to? Are you building new life skills? Are you paying attention to what life is calling you towards and allowing it to grow and develop in your sphere? These are really important things to consider. We're coming up in a new year. That's a great time to have a fresh new beginning. So just consider this. Consider that, yes, we are between stories, as Charles Eisenstein talks about. But if you are listening to your heart and listening to your inspiration and to what lights you up, you will be building your gifts for the future. You will be building your future. You will be building a future that I would hazard to say will be in creative co-harmony with the planet if you're truly listening to your authentic voice and your heart. So maybe dwell on that a little bit so that we can create a new heaven on earth. You know, I love the rainbow. I mean, that's what the story of the flood was, the symbol of agreement between the creator and his creation, that would never happen again. The rainbow was the sign of a covenant. And so it's kind of lovely if we could think about this hard time that we're going through as an opportunity for us to grow and for us to come into right relationship with ourselves, with our planet, and our creator, if you believe in a creator. You know, we are here to be empowered, to grow up, to not be like children looking outside of ourselves for guidance and for someone else to take care of us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Are we ready to step up and take responsibility for ourselves, our relationship to others, and our role on this planet? Okay, the foundation card, why we're having the reading this week, we have the card of sorrow, which is kind of a match to this heavy emotion, or a lot of emotion, and understandable. It's just where we are. And as I was saying last week, we just keep getting so much stuff pitched into our fields. Whether we want it or not, there's a lot of different stories with inconsistencies, and it's confusing and it's demoralizing. And I think we're all coming to the end of being okay with it. I think we're all really ready for something new. And that longing is good because it means we're pulling our future towards us. The foundation card, why we're having the reading today, is this energy of sorrow. And so despite the fact, you see this little person here in the bottom, surrounded by all these dark shapes, and the swords are focused towards the figure, and it seems moody and kind of brooding and not a very happy picture. But what I want to draw your attention to is that the swords are golden. They're like rays of light. And in the middle of each of these dark shapes is a golden heart, which you probably can't distinguish because the resolution isn't so great. But this idea that in our darkest times, there is still good, there is still light, there is still the gift. It's up to us to look for it. Where attention goes, energy flows. What are you looking for? Where are you giving your attention? Where are you giving your focus? And yes, it's okay. We are all going to find ourselves here in this place of unhappiness, of sorrow, of wallowing in it, of being the poor me. That's okay. Again, it's part of being human. But at a certain point, we need to look for the gift in the experience. We need to look for the opportunity that we're gaining from this opportunity to understand ourselves and our experience more profoundly so we can be of service to life and orient ourselves towards that yes, rather than, more of hanging out in the pit of despair. So just know if you're here, it's okay. It really is okay. And you will find your way out. And you'll find your way out sooner if you're looking for the light, if you're looking for the gifts, if you're looking for the things to be grateful for. Gratitude is a profound awareness tool. By giving your attention to what you're grateful for, it shifts. But if we do it, it shifts us all very, very deeply. And so a practice of gratitude before bed every night, 5 things you're grateful for from the day, however insignificant. If you're grateful for them, bringing them to your consciousness and ending your day in that state of appreciation is very elevating, and it's transformative for setting your energy and your tone for the time of rest and renewal and rejuvenation, which is what the period of sleep is in the human state. So giving yourself permission to go into sleep from a place of gratitude. So yes, we have this heaviness, this doneness, this feeling kind of overwhelm of so finished. When is this going to be finished? That we need to use that as our springboard towards focusing on what we want and understanding that we are being carried to something new. But we need to give our attention to what it is that we're being carried to. What do you want the future to look like for you personally and for us collectively on this planet? And maybe get beyond just thinking like a human about your own needs and thinking as an elevated human about your role on the planet and your connection to this beautiful sphere that we all call home. And how can we exist in a different way on this planet that is in a way that's rewarding and exciting and inspiring, that allows us to share our gifts and be there for each other in beautiful ways, acknowledging and recognizing the uniqueness and fostering that in each other. And at the same time, nourishing our planet, co-creating with this planet, understanding nature and collaborating with nature. You know, for example, biomimicry is such an interesting field of study because it means looking at nature and looking for the solutions we seek from the brilliant design that is nature. It's unbelievable, the solutions that nature has. And if we align ourselves there and study that and spend time there, we will find all the solutions that we need to the problems we've created. We're incredible, resilient beings, powerful co-creators. We just need the context and the intention and the will and the desire to do it. And that's what I mean. Getting into that space of desire. What lights you up? What excites you? What inspires you? And saying yes to it, turning your boat in that direction, developing those gifts and those aptitudes, because we're going to need you shining at your best as we move through this transition time into the new world. I really do believe that's where we're going. I'm following other teachers who also feel very strongly that this is what is going on for humanity. We're going through a dark night of the soul because we are about to emerge like butterflies from our cocoons. So take heart, my friends. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear for this week. Let's see what the card to grow on would be. Kind of perfect if we had the Magician again. Because it's that quality of energy, being a powerful co-creator with life. And even though we don't know where we're going, trusting the process. And if each of us is listening to our broader, wiser self, that inspiration self, that excitement, that enlivenment, that enthusiasm, that preference, we will move in the right direction. Okay, so Creator, what is our card to grow on for the coming week, please? What can we hold before us this week so we continue to thrive and shine and be our best for ourselves, each other, and this beautiful planet we call home, and all life? Oh, we got the Death card. Yeah. So endings, big endings, continue, and navigating that. So with every death, with any dramatic transition, there's grieving. And we saw that with the heavy emotions that are there in our collective field. There is the grieving. And then there's the appreciation for that person or that opportunity that came into our life that is no longer with us. But what it gives us is such an awareness of the transience of life, the preciousness of it. Not to take anything for granted, but to be in appreciation in the moment with it right here, right now. That's the gift that death brings us, is that being in the moment, being present, fully engaged, fully enlivened, and enjoying everything in front of us for all that it's worth. There's a richness in each now moment that the death card reminds us to partake of, to focus on, to give our energy to. It is a card of huge transition. And, I was just talking about the butterflies and the cocoons. Well, here are the cocoons, right? That stage to a caterpillar that seems like the end of life, but really is the beginning of something new. A new state of existence where they can fly when they emerge. And that's a brilliant new experience. So understanding that even though we're going through the birth canal, the great squeeze, the really, how much more of this can we do? We're coming through this. And it's the old falling away, and we are dreaming the new. So use the gratitude and appreciation for that, the old, which is falling away. Dwell on it from that grateful space, that appreciation space, and allow yourself to cultivate that energy of gratitude, because when your frequency goes up as a result of dwelling in gratitude, you manifest and attract energetically from a whole different level. And so it's very, very important. It's a way of cultivating mastery, really. Going to the state of gratitude and appreciation. And nothing like dramatic contrast to provide us with the awareness of what we want. But that state of appreciation. Because we don't have to hate things to change them. We can love our way into the change and transition. We can appreciate our way into the change and transition. We don't have to, it's kind of like ending a relationship with a lover. You don't have to hate the person for it to come to an end, although we seem to do this in our culture. We look for things to hate about the person so we feel better about ending it. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can love what was and appreciate what was and move into the future from an open, heartful place of appreciation and gratitude and love for what was and for what we're pulling towards us. It is profound. The energy of love, the energy of gratitude, and the deep contrast that life is giving us right now is so powerful for helping us to pull towards us what we do want. I hope this is helpful to you this week. Just invite you to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Just integrate this energy, the energy of this reading, for your own good. Knowing that even if you're not particularly mindful about it this week, that's okay. It still exists in your field somewhere, and it's helping you to be all that you are and more, helping you to live in a good way. And if you remember to have that gratitude practice at the end of the day, brilliant. Or even throughout the day, just stopping wherever you are and being grateful for where you find yourself and what's in front of you. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I want to thank you for this opportunity, for being able to do this reading every week with all of those who tune in. I ask for your blessings on each and every one of us, both those listening and those that we're related to, and all life on this planet, human and otherwise. Thank you for this beautiful planet, Mother Earth. Help us to take care of her. Help us to stay clear, to be channels for light, for love, for grace, for beauty, for healing. Help us to be all that our heart is calling us towards. Help us to become aware of the preferences, of the yes of our heart, so we can move a little bit further along that path of yes every day. I'm so grateful for all those who are helping us on this side and the other. All those who help to hold the space today, all the angelic beings, all the grandmothers and grandfathers, all those who've come before, who are there cheering us on. Thank you. Much love and light to each and every one of you. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week. And I'll be doing the solstice reading as well, so I have to see how that turns out next week, but you'll see. It'll come up on the channel. Lots of love. Take care. Bye for now.